We're back again with Thunder 04 at Michigan. 14 races we've won in a row, and that's great. So we're just going to continue onwards. Point situation, obviously, naturally, very good. Tony Stewart, he's trying, props out to him. He's doing what he can. He's just, he's just a little bit off in being not as good as me, but it's okay. It's okay. So we're going to get into this. Paint scheme, Sharpie Ford. It's a nice scheme. It makes me smile. When have I ever not smiled? So, thank you to my Tier 2 Patreon people, as well as my YouTube members who are churning perks. You're getting early access to videos, as well as channel emotes and all that good stuff. Thank you. I like it. Like the video and subscribe. So, let's get into it. Ryan Newman, Dale Jr. front row. Typical. Car setup, just default, as well as just manual gears. That's it. MRN, take it away.
MRN is coming to you live from Michigan International Speedway for today's Sirius 400. Michigan always produces some great racing. What do you think, Barney?
Michigan is wide with plenty of banking in the turns. You can get 3 wide pretty easily here. That always makes for some exciting race action.
Kyle Petty had a very rough season in 2002.
Boy, did he ever. With no top 10 finishes and an average finish of 27th, you know it's a year he'd like to forget.
Terry Labonte seems to always have to start toward the back at these speedway tracks.
Man, does this make getting a win tough. He has to be careful not to beat up the car, as aerodynamics have become so important at these speedway tracks. That's not easy to do when you have the whole field starting in front of you.
2002 was a breakout year for Kurt Busch and his Roush Racing team.
That it was. With 3 wins and 10 top 10
Stop.
finishes, he showed that he's
Stop.
one of the
Not only did you lie about Kyle Petty's stats, you lied about that too. And we get the Rugrats frickin' theme again. Why? Well, I'm very annoyed. Tony Stewart alternate scheme, nice looking car. But yeah, let's get into it. I don't know what really to say. I don't know how many times they're gonna repeat that audio clip. How was that not fixed from Thunder 03? And why is it so hard to get facts correct? I know like 2002 is like the early age of the internet, and maybe information was hard, but I feel like that stat should not be that complicated. We got in Jack Sprague out of my just own vitriolic rage of that stat being wrong. So I'm going to blame that on MRN, even though they had no part of that. Either way, they actually took that corner very easily. That was another just horrific corner. It's 2 for 2 in not going through the corner efficiently. But from everything I experienced in practice, the car is fast like usual. I don't really have much worry of not winning this race unless something, catastrophic occurs. It's just a curse. If there was ever a hell, I feel like this might be it. Just playing a game where I'm just desperately hoping I could just have the AI beat me, and then it just never happens. That might be it. Also, David Green and Greg Biffle just made contact. Truly the battle of mid, even though they did Biffle's AI so wrong in this game, because he was not running like 35th in points, caliber driver. Like, he definitely wasn't knocking the lights out in the competition, but he was not 35th in points. Like, they did him so incredibly wrong. But, yeah, moving up to the field. Just the levels of disrespect they do to Kyle Petty. So mean. They act like he got no top 10s when he did. Same with Kurt. I mean, for God's sake, it's even worse for Kurt because he got freaking 3rd in points in 2002. Ran admirably. How do you mess up that? That's more egregious. Either way. Yeah, we're fast. Moving up through the field like no problem. This is the race in real life 2003 where Kurt and Jimmy Spencer got into altercation. Fun stuff. Maybe not fun for Kurt, but this was the race. Maybe it's the second Michigan race. I don't know. God, I hope I should. I'm like the Kurtorian here, so like I feel like I should know all this, but I'm confusing myself. Michigan, as you saw there with the contact with Nadu, has a unique groove or lane where I've always said this, even going back to like the original like career mode stuff, but whatever the reason in the corners, the car just wants to naturally try to like slide up the track, so contact like that can happen. It really makes this extremely wide track narrower. So, yeah. Either way, we're listening to the fuel. We're almost going 210 just about going into the corner. Yeah, 1 and 2 is a lot tighter of a corner than 3 and 4, it feels like, because I am trying as hard as I can to not make contact, and it still keeps happening. It's like, just probably the most contact I made with people in a race thus far. I don't know. I've not kept track of that, but it feels like it. But yeah, just, I don't know. Like, the draft 2 helps just us carry so much speed. Robbie Gordon blocking, petty, typical of him to do. But, yeah, I don't know. Just nothing new for Robbie Gordon to just block into oblivion there. I need to bring up that gamepad, like, controller thing. Maybe that would bring some light on how I drive, and maybe people would be like, oh, that's why he's so good. I don't know. There's something. I don't know anymore, but we finally got by Robbie Gordon. A lot harder of a pass than it really probably should have been. Now we just, you know, get the run up on the outside, cut down low on Gordon. Now we're carrying a stupid amounts of speed. We'll get by Gordon, we'll get by Nadu, we'll get by Mark, we'll get by probably Bill Elliott before we get into 1. Yeah, that was very disgusting. And that's what happens when you don't have the AI constantly block you off the track and just be an overall nuisance. That's like the only challenging aspect of this, just anticipating or just trying to get around the AI blocking you, because it feels completely RNG, purely random, because I don't know when they're going to do it, but it just happens. So, I don't know. There's a very wide angle in the 3 and 4. Okay, they're pitting early. Alright. Actually, a little bit earlier than I thought, but either way, we'll be pitting on lap 10, going into 11. Our car is so fast, I feel like as long as the picker just meet the bare minimum time, then, should be alright. I mean, the car is really fast on its own, so I got confidence in it. Even the tire wear, once again, really doesn't feel like much of an issue, which is very sad, because starter 03, that was always an element I always kind of had to worry about, and that's not really the case here. Even though we do get tire wear, it just doesn't really seem like it really, I mean, it definitely makes us slower, but it's just, I don't know. Once again, Johnny Benson running extraordinarily well. It does seem like, of all the corners, turn 4 is just the biggest one. That, like, the run, that's disgusting. How much spots did we gain there? Like 3 or 4? I don't know. Please AI stay on the bottom of the track. Thank you. Wasn't sure if they were going to. I'm thinking of like the heat games where they just kind of merge out on track right away. But they didn't do that, so thankfully that is avoided. And now we're about to just effortlessly go 3 wide. Unfortunately, as tragic as it is, it's a Shakespearean tragedy that we're going to probably get the lead, and then the next lap we're going to pit, so ultimately really not going to relish in this lead for very long. Hopefully Junior does not decide to pit. Good, thank you, and we're going to lead that lap. So, got to lead 9 laps. Took a little bit longer than my practice runs, but we got there nonetheless. Alrighty, pitting this time. Gap Dale Jr. Newman a little bit, but definitely not as big of a gap as I would like. Either way, 70 miles an hour, pretty normal. Dale Jarrett kind of gained on me there in the pit road, but that's really it. 4 tires and out in the way. And that's going to be a 15-7. I don't know what the PA announcer was talking about, us doing some pit strategy. Like, it's just a standard 4-tire stop. There's nothing, you know, Archivelian about it. But we'll get on the racing surface. My phone blooped. Just typical. And we're just going to cruise. We actually really gained time on Jarrett, so I think we're going to probably cycle out, presumably in the lead. So that's even better for me. And we're going to cycle out into lead because the leaders once again just did horrific pit strategy, staying out as long as possible and kind of giving us the win even easier than expected. So I don't know how big our lead is, but we're pretty much in good shape regardless. So yeah, just another race we're going to win. Like, I was thinking maybe doing like a custom season of just like the tough tracks in this game to do like to make it somewhat interesting, but so far there is none. Dover is like the closest one, but we were still able to win that, so that would be like our only challenge, is just a Dover season of like 2 races. I don't know, I got nothing. 3.3, okay, let's see if we can expand on that. My flag's out. I guess to the AI's credit, we have not built up as huge of a lead once everything cycled through. I think we gained like an additional 1.7 seconds. That was a horrible 1 and 2, but maybe it's because they did pit so much later, so their tires, again, just haven't completely fallen off yet. Maybe this is one of the few tracks that their tire fall off isn't too bad later in the run. I don't know. Point is, we have not gained a stupendous amount on them. But it's still a dub nonetheless. It was slightly tougher than Pocono, but I don't know where I would rank this in the tier list if I ever made that, because it was so easy, but it's another one. It's another one in the books, and this is just quite revolting at this point. I feel bad even doing burnouts because it was just, it's not like, I mean, other than Dover, maybe Daytona. Those are like the two that were kind of tough. No, not Daytona. Dover's like the only one that really provided me like a genuine challenge. But hey, there's another track Kurt won at, so I mean that's cool, but I don't know. I got nothing. Nice looking trophy. I like the musical note. It's creative. I wonder if our trophy room, I should really check my trophy room and see just how much things are getting filled up. Does that carry over for season mode or to the main menu? I don't know. Is that just for racing out? I guess we should look at that, but we won by 5.7 seconds. We led the last 8 laps. We actually led the most laps, but barely. Dale Jr. had a good run. Same with Newman. Dale Jarrett's. There were a lot of the usuals up here. Marlin, again, another really consistent run. Johnny Benson just straight up got 8th at a track that I think he's been pretty good at in the past, so fitting. He flipped here once in the Busch Series, so there's that stat. Ricky Rudd 9th. Rusty Wells 10th. Mark Martin, again, just having a very off year. Ran 25th on pace. That is just sad. And the DNF of the day was Hermie Sadler and Joe Nemechek. Don't know what else really to say. I almost said donut, but I could go for one of those right now to have some kind of sugar in me to freaking pump up my body from this game. This game is really good right now at just making me just sleepy, which is very impressive. But yeah, 5.7 seconds. Let's look at the interval. I want to see where that puts us. It probably is going to be just shy of the top 10, but I'm going to figure that out. So it's 5.770. That puts it 18th. So yeah, it's actually a little bit more out of the top 10 than what I thought, but yeah, it's a little bit above mid. That was technically our 60th win. I guess technically 2 of them were from All-Star, so I guess technically it's 58th career win, but yeah, so there's that. I'm glad I kept track of this. This is like the only most interesting part of it, just to see the stats of that. So that's fun. Next up is Infineon, which that was the site of our biggest margin of victory ever in Thunder 03. Will that be the same case here? I don't really know, but I guess we'll find out. Answer would be yes, but hard to say. Next race we'll be going with, I really shouldn't be going with a test car, but we're going to go with the 2002 Sharpie Ford. And yeah, so it's almost like a throwback. That's probably not the scheme we actually ran the race, but it's a 2002 scheme regardless, so it's like a throwback to that. So that's adorable with the timing of all that. But obviously, we still gain points on Stewart. Ryan Newman hanging on in 4th. Newman hanging on in 3rd. Marlin jumps up to 4th. Bobby Labonte, I think, moves up to 5th. Most of his top 10's kind of the same. Mark Martin, despite his horrific bad day, still in the top 10. Dale Jr. is still outside top 10. But yeah, Kenseth is starting to fall back. He was up in the top half of the top 10 for a little bit, but oh well. At least Dale Jr.'s the superior DEI car by 16 points over Waltrip. Dale Jarrett's back to 13. Jeff Gordon, I don't understand what is wrong with him. And he's usually one of those like top 5 in point drivers, but not this season. He's just 14th. That Thunder 03 freaking downfall is continuing into this year. I mean, he is just having a freaking midlife crisis in his career or something. That's wild. The only time he was ever outside of top 10 was like his rookie year, and 2005. So he is just having what could be argued as his worst point finish of his career, just about, or close to it. Not exactly furthest back, but he's rivaling his rookie season in badness. Lap champ when we finally got to 180 laps, so we're only, what, 11 away to tying what we had in Thunder 02. So don't think that's going to happen at Sonoma. But it'll definitely probably happen before the end of the year, by far. Ricky Craven still has more laps than Jeff Gordon, just want to point that out. And that's pretty much it with the top 5, so. Either way, Ricky Craven's like 6th. I just realized that. He's freaking 6th. Good for him. But, yeah. Either way, I'm done. I just want to get on to Sonoma to see what happens. Because at least if it's going to be a boring race, at least it'll be just left and right turns. So it'll be at least a little more mildly visually stimulating for my brain. Big shout out to the Patreon supporters today for our Champ 15, Kamikazegames, Bailey Carrot, Maximilian 1986, Jason Hellman, and my name is John for support again. I appreciate what you guys do for my channel every single month. It does mean a lot. Always goes a long ways, so just thank you as always for the continued support. See you all next episode. I don't know what that's going to be like. We'll figure it out. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just curious to see where this is going to go from here. Like, is it? I don't know if we can actually win the entire season because Dover was kind of a big. It took a lot for us to even have a shot with that. There's also Kansas that's usually been kind of tough, so not really sure. But we're for sure gonna beat Petty's freaking win count. That's like a given. We're on the verge of like a 34 or 35 like win season, or 33 wins in a season, or something like insane. It's eventually we're gonna have a bad race. Usually it always happens in like the second half of the year. But I don't know. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for that day. It just hasn't happened yet. So we'll keep on racing to find that freaking goal. I don't know. Either way, I'm done. See you all next episode. See you all later. And as always, have a good day, everyone.